What's up?
Long time don't see.
Has been a long time.
Yeah. So we have a special episode, but we think this is probably going to be more like a regular thing that we do, where just Ian and I, and maybe sometimes other guests or friends or people, will just talk about the gaming world, so that we don't fill up the normal podcast with all gaming. And it has been an amazing last 2 days in gaming. 3 days. Anyway.
Yeah.
So we're just talking gaming. If gaming is not your thing,
Go
or
away.
you don't like just if you don't like just looking at our faces, then I guess it's not for you. So yeah.
So in the last 3 days, we've had two big game events. We had the Video Game Awards, which is the most generic title I've ever heard. And the PlayStation Experience, which was amazing. So I guess we'll talk about the winners of the Video Game Awards, as well as I think a couple trailers came out.
Yes.
And then we'll talk about the PlayStation Experience and all the wonderful things that they announced there.
All right.
Cool.
I like it.
So I guess let's start with the nominations and the winners, just the big ones. There was a lot of awards, and I don't think we need to know like best VR game or
no, because the
best
only
streamer.
feedback I've got from the VR is that people are getting very sick. I haven't played with the VR. I'm totally would like to try.
Are they playing Motion Sickness Simulator, or is that?
Yeah, I think
That's
with
probably
Motion
why.
Sickness Simulator is making a lot of people very
I would hope so.
You get what you pay for. It says on the back, rated R, for your mom having to clean up your vomit. Yeah, but I would like to try. That's what I was saying. Hello, Susie. Welcome to the show.
We have a guest now. It's a cat.
So lay it on me.
So Game of the Year, the big one, or should we save that one? It doesn't matter. Whatever. So Game of the Year, the nominees were Doom, Inside, Overwatch, Titanfall 2, and Uncharted 4. Surprise, surprise, Uncharted 4 did not win. That's what I thought was going to win.
Did you?
Yeah, Uncharted 4 wins. Well, Uncharted wins all the prizes.
I think, well, I don't know. I only played one of the games that was nominated, so I felt like that should win.
That was Doom.
Yeah.
Well, that game was amazing.
Though I am extremely proud of Doom because it got nominated for several awards and won some.
Yeah, it did actually.
And for
Spoiler
something
alert.
to come back, like this franchise being rebooted, to come back and be so, have such an impact that it's getting awards, I think means maybe we'll get more. And I think this is a franchise that won't tire out super quickly. Like, you could have this sort of, running through and killing demons from hell. There's always a reason for hell to open up on Earth and, the Doom Slayer to...
Well, Doom's one of those games. I mean, there's plenty of games that you can sit down and play to enjoy a good story, good narrative, good storytelling, characters that you love and you want to spend like 50 hours with. And then there's games like Doom that you sit down and play when you just want to rip demons' arms off and punch them through their own skulls.
Yeah, it was great. It was so much fun. Like, if there's one thing I can say about Doom, I think it was just a fun game. Like, while you were playing it, it wasn't overly frustrating.
Yeah.
It wasn't overly challenging by any means, but I think it was needed. I feel like things are getting... Sometimes you just need to not take yourself so seriously when it comes to video games.
Yeah. There's a lot of shooter franchises that are just trying to one-up each other or put a little fresh spin on something they've already done. And although Doom is kind of, I guess, formulaic, it's a nice breath of fresh air in a series that's dominated by like corridor shooters where you're just shooting random military guys.
And it didn't feel repetitive. Even though I was doing a lot of the same stuff, I didn't feel like it was repetitive.
True.
It was enough to keep me interested.
So the winner was Overwatch from Blizzard, their new MOBA shooter. I haven't played too much of Overwatch, but I can see why it won. I've heard great things about it. Seems to be very popular, as Blizzard games want to be. But I just can't get into games where it's just multiplayer matches and only multiplayer matches.
No, it's not for me. I don't. I know a lot of people want me to play multiplayer with them, but there is a 99% chance you will never play a game with me, and it's not because I don't want to. It's just I'm bad at it, and I don't enjoy it. And I know people are like, the more you play, the more you win. I did that with Call of Duty one time for like days and days, and never did I improve. You don't want me on
You
your
got
team.
really good at defending that house in Nuketown.
Oh, you have no that one house in Nuketown though. If you needed a guard dog, I got you. But that was it.
Yeah. So best game direction winner was also Blizzard, Overwatch. Which I guess is whatever. I don't know. Game direction. That's not. I would have definitely chosen a different game, I guess I should say, because again, multiplayer only, just I don't know. I feel like it's half of the pie, you know.
Well, I think I anytime I'm around anybody else that games, which isn't very often, just like my trips to GameStop and stuff like that, I feel like multiplayer is bigger than I remember it being, even when I worked in that environment. I feel like back when, 2010 and 11, when I was around gamers all the time, there was a lot of people who played games like me who would be fine with just endless amounts of, adventure games that were just single player campaigns. It didn't matter what the story was. That's just what they wanted to play. But now I feel like it's just multiplayer.
Yeah, I suppose that's true. I
But
mean, even
maybe I
games that
just
don't
didn't-
need multiplayer have started to add it. A lot of the times at the expense of the single player, but
But I think Titanfall did the reverse though, right? Now they have a campaign. Didn't Titanfall 1 only
yes,
multiplayer?
It was only multiplayer. Titanfall 2 added a campaign, which I hear is actually really, really good, albeit short. But they said the quality is great when it comes to the campaign.
I think
I've heard that game overall is actually pretty amazing. But again, like I would play it. I would probably tire of the multiplayer. But sorry, our roommate is scared. So I guess talk about some of the other ones. But
I mean, sure. Doom did win Best Music and Sound, and I do think as far as soundtracks that pump you up,
oh yeah,
that is great. And if anybody watched the awards, or if you want to go watch it, actually the composer who did all the Doom music played at the Video Music Awards, the Video Game Awards, and it was great. He is great. It was like a 3-piece.
yeah, it was just a
doing that. It
guitarist.
was-
I think he had like a 7-string,
Yeah.
tuned down to a note that you could only hear if you were a demon, and a synth guy and a drummer, and yeah, it was metal as fuck.
Nolan North won performance.
Makes sense.
Which I think of all of them, yes.
Who else was nominated?
Well, okay, so Firewatch was nominated, which I think is great. And it's mostly voice. That sort of game is a game that I like playing, and it's not action-packed, so you have to have a good voice cast, I think, to carry you through something like that. But I think because games like Uncharted are more popular, it makes sense that he would win. And people, I think he has a huge fan base. It's just
He's
a
probably
voice actor.
the most widely known voice actor in video games, I would say. Him and Troy Baker.
Yeah.
But
There was some other stuff. Pokemon Go won Best Mobile Handheld. I don't even know why they had other games. However, did Lara Croft Go come out this year or last year?
oh man, I don't know. It wasn't nominated?
It was not nominated, so it might have been last
Might
year.
have been last
If you
year.
guys haven't played Lara Croft Go, it's on your phone. Download. It's like a puzzle, very easy puzzle. Well, not easy, but easy to play. Tomb Raider based game for your phone. It's the best $5 I've ever spent. They just announced there's going to be an expansion for it. So I guess it's on the PlayStation now too. You can play it there. But I played it on my phone. It was amazing. For a game on your mobile device, it was great. Executed well. They also did Hitman Go.
Which I heard was also
I hear is also very good.
If you're into the franchise, Hitman or Tomb Raider.
Yeah, it was great. It must have been last year because it didn't even get nominated. Okay. So I would say yes. Doom also won Best Action Game because yes.
That's all it is.
Okay, Dishonored won Action Adventure. Didn't Dishonored come out last week? Or like a week before the Video Game Awards?
I think so, yeah.
How close do you have to be?
Well, I don't know. I guess all the people handling the nominations probably had advanced copies of certain ones, like so they could finish it and actually make fair judgments. But yeah, that was cutting it close.
Yeah, I was just like, did people have enough time to play that to give it an appropriate opinion?
And so they have action game and then they have action adventure game.
Nope. Yes, you're right.
I wonder what the
Dishonored won action
criteria
adventure
was.
and Doom won action. There's not really an adventure in Doom.
You're going to hell.
You are going
That's
to hell, but you know that from the beginning.
True.
Are you upset at who won Best RPG?
Oh, with it being The Witcher?
Yeah.
Over Dark Souls?
Yeah.
No, I'm not. So although like Dark Souls is, I mean, it's hard for me to say what's my favorite, but it's definitely my top franchises of all time. The third one was good, but The Witcher 3 was one of those games that's kind of on a whole nother level when it comes to video games as far as just like storytelling and gameplay and just overall quality. Dark Souls 3 was good. It wasn't my favorite Dark Souls. I could see why The Witcher won. I think it may have deserved it. Sports don't care.
Multiplayer was Overwatch. Surprise.
Of course.
So they have an award for most anticipated game.
Okay.
I feel like they're stretching. They're like, we need to give out more than 3 awards.
Like most hype.
Yeah. Breath of the Wild won. Obviously, I'm hyped for that game. There's a lot of games coming out though, but yeah, that looks incredible.
That's one of the trailers that came out?
Yes,
right?
They showed a trailer. Yes.
There. That was one of the I like Zelda. I'm a big fan of Zelda games. I haven't played all of them, but this game looks so freaking good.
I think I've played most of the Zelda games. I didn't play the last one on Wii, or the last one that came out on Nintendo, where you fly.
Oh my god!
I can't think of what it's called.
Going Blake. Shad's gonna kill me.
Yeah, that's the only Zelda I haven't played. But no Zelda has given me the feels as much as Ocarina of Time, and I think it's because that came out when I was at an age that, that really affects. So, but this looks like it might do that. Like I might get that Ocarina of Time feel back, and I don't think the other Zeldas are bad. I love Zelda; it's a great franchise that I don't think normally disappoints.
Yeah,
but I want the same experience I got the first time I played Ocarina of Time.
This one might do it. I mean, I haven't played the last few, the Wii ones, so I don't know if you've been able to do this with Link previously, but the fact that he was utilizing so many different weapons, like he was fighting with a spear, he was fighting with a two-handed great sword looking thing, which I can't wait to use because that's my weapon of choice in any RPG. But overall, it just looked like it had a lot more, because Zelda games have always had RPG elements to a certain extent, some more than others. But this one looks like it's really heavy, taking ideas from other RPGs and incorporating them. And I think it's great. I think it's going to be awesome. I mean, you never really go bad with a Zelda game. But
no, I'm excited. So my overall feeling, I have 2 overall feelings about the Video Game Awards.
Okay.
My first one is I'm very excited about the amount of smaller independent games that were nominated. Firewatch, Inside, which won a lot. Inside's by the people who did Limbo.
Yeah.
And Oxenfree, which I actually just started playing. I've wanted to play it for forever, but haven't gotten around until this weekend to play. To see that it was nominated for a couple of awards,
it makes sense.
I'm just really excited that games like that are getting notoriety. Number 2, And I'm sorry to everybody who plays these games. Not only did Call of Duty win nothing, they were not even nominated for anything. And that makes me so happy. I feel like maybe that means we're going to jump down off of our Call of Duty hype train. And I think of all the Call of Duties, this one looked the most interesting.
Yeah, that's true.
And I've played Call of Duty games before.
I remember when one of the trailers came out, it took me like a minute and a half before I realized, oh, this is Call of Duty.
Yeah.
And the whole time before that, I was like, this looks really cool. What is this? I found out it was Call of Duty, and part of me died a little bit, but it did actually look the best out of the last like 5 years.
I think this one looked the most interesting. I was never going to play it, but I think that this looked the most interesting. And I was just like, when I was going through all the winners and all the nominees, it just lit a tiny little fire in my heart that they didn't get anything. And I understand people like it, and they're doing something right, because those people are just pumping money into a machine. Yep. But I hate when they announce one, and I don't know if it's the Activision or who are they switch off. Who else does it?
Activision publishes them all, but they have
Treyarch,
Infinity Ward, and
which one has the douchebag guy that wears sunglasses inside?
Probably Infinity
You know who I'm
Ward.
talking about? He comes out. He thinks he's like king, bro.
Was he the skinny one?
Yes.
I think he left. He formed Respawn, who did Titanfall, I think.
Well, I didn't play Titanfall. And now I'm definitely not going to play Titanfall because that guy, every time he would show up, like every other E3, when he would show up, I'd be like, oh, it's that douchebag guy.
It's that douchebag.
Yeah. Anyway, I'm sorry if you guys love Call of Duty and think it should win all the awards. I think it's time for Call of Duty to take a step back and make room for games that give you a little bit more. The voice cast in this one was really good too.
Yeah, they've been doing good with that. Like, I think Kevin Spacey was in the last one, so they've been dishing out money for the actors to come in. But yeah, that was kind of a pleasant surprise. Mm-hmm. But we also got a new trailer for Prey, which so the original trailer made it look like a very horror focused shooter. This one made it seem more akin to like BioShock, where it definitely has like a horror element to it, but it's not a horror game.
I agree. I was very, very excited to watch you play the game that was in the trailer they showed at E3 because it looked way too nerve-wracking for me to play.
Yeah.
But when you showed me this new trailer, I was like, oh, I could play this.
Yeah.
So I don't. I feel like it took a step down.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
They really hyped us up with that initial trailer. And I mean, I know that they don't always release things look as beautiful as, the action trailers, but yeah.
Well, yeah, the first one was probably to like build up hype, obviously. So they probably threw in all the. I mean, I guess it wasn't really like a gameplay trailer, which is the thing. It was just. Yeah, it was like a FMV.
But I even felt like the art style changed. Like I feel like the art style in that was more similar to Final Fantasy in the original one. Like it was very clean. I liked how it looked, and this one did not look that
kind of
way.
gritty. Yeah, like it definitely looks. It reminded me a lot of System Shock, hence why it also kind of reminded me of BioShock, I guess. But yeah, definitely it seemed like a little bit of change, but I liked it. It looks fun. Definitely seems like it's like puzzles are going to be incorporated. Mm-hmm. You turn into a coffee cup at some point and roll through a hole in the window. I don't know.
And that's all I've ever wanted.
Yeah, but so I think it's gonna be fun. I was excited about that. The last trailer was Death Stranding. So
I have no idea what this game is going to be, what is going on. All I know is I want it.
So in this new trailer, so in the original trailer, we were introduced to Norman Reedus, and he was working with Hideo Kojima on the game Silent Hills before that was canceled by
RIP Silent Hills.
Konami, in like the stupidest bonehead move of the decade when it comes to video games. So they're also working with Guillermo del Toro on that project. Well, in this new trailer, there's a character who looks so very suspiciously like Guillermo del Toro. So I don't know if they're still working together on like the storyline and the design or anything, but it's cool to see that little, even if it's just an homage to Guillermo in there. And we also saw Mads Mikkelsen, who always plays the best villain.
He does his part in this looked a lot like him from Doctor Strange.
Especially with the makeup,
The eye makeup and everything.
Yeah. We still have no idea what's going on. I'm not even going to try to interpret what Kojima's showing off yet. If you've never played a Kojima game, you know that you know nothing. It's
and the game ends and you know nothing.
He's one of the most ridiculous directors, one of the best video game designers, directors. He doesn't follow rules. Like I don't even know what to say. This game's going to be amazing, but it's going to be batshit crazy too.
It's going to be great.
It already is batshit crazy.
I love Telltale games. They are perfect for me because I like basically just playing movies. And we're getting Guardians of the Galaxy Telltale games. We didn't learn anything. And it might have said 2017. I can't remember off the top of my head. But I think it's probably going to be like Batman, where they teased it, and then it took a long time before we heard anything again. And then once we heard something again, it was like, it'll be out next week. Yeah. So, but I'm super excited. When they announced Batman, I was like, I wonder how long it'll be until Marvel's like, we want to do a Telltale game. And they were like, oh, it's right now. Yeah. So for people who like the Telltale series, I think that this could be really fun. I think color-wise, it'll remind me a lot, I think, of the Wolf on Wall Street. Or nope. Nope. The Wolf Among Us.
Wolf Among Us.
Maybe the Wolf on Wall Street. Who knows? Maybe they'll take a different approach.
I think it'll probably be kind of a similar feel to Tales from the Borderlands because they're both just kind of silly, you know?
Yes. But Tales from the Borderlands had very emotional moments compared to the games.
That's true.
Which everybody knows how much I love Borderlands, but Tales from the Borderlands was amazing. I think that wraps up the
Video Game Awards.
Yeah.
I think it was mainly awards. They had a few announcements, but
yesterday the PlayStation Experience happened.
They had a lot of good stuff.
They had
They continue to really, really impress me.
I think PlayStation's won 2016, and I didn't think I would ever say that because I have been a Xbox player forever. Well, that's not true. I was a Nintendo and then PlayStation 2 forever, and then I got an Xbox 360, and then I swear by Xbox 360 and Xbox One until 2016 when I got a PlayStation 4, and now I have been playing that a lot. And it's not something I ever thought, but after E3 this year, I think PlayStation is really, in Sony, not even just exclusives. I think they're just getting better everything. Yeah.
I think, Microsoft does some really cool things. They've listened to the community a lot. They pulled off the backwards compatibility, which is amazing.
Yes.
That is.
I got to play Left 4 Dead 2 now.
Yeah, that's an awesome
I'll play
feature.
Left 4 Dead 2 with you guys. There's something I'll play.
But as far as games go and just overall experience, yeah, I feel like Sony has definitely been on top this year. Which again, I've mainly been Xbox for the last, I don't know, since Halo. But I've never been against PlayStation. I've always owned a PlayStation, but I always play Xbox more. But yeah, I've definitely been playing PlayStation more at this point. But yeah, so I guess we'll just talk about I guess like all the announcements as far as upcoming games, and then talk about the big announcement, the one they ended on. I guess we can end on too. But so they announced a lot of like throwback games.
Frisbee.
Yeah, Windjammers, which I'd never even heard of.
But people were, I thought it was a joke at first, and it was going to turn to something, like the beginning of Fight Club DVD. You think you're watching, so I thought they were going to do that, but no, it really is a Frisbee game. No, it really is
a Frisbee game. Extreme Frisbee called Windjammers. It looks fun, but yeah, it's definitely like, I mean, it has to be the same era as like the X-Men arcade games.
Yeah.
I mean, it's old.
Wonderful.
Also, Parappa the Rappa, Patapon, and Loco Roco, and Crash Bandicoot
are all coming back.
Crash Bandicoot trilogy, which Crash was great. Parappa the Rappa was also great. Patapon and Loco Roco I never played, but I know that they were like super popular.
Loco Roco is so cute.
Yeah.
Yeah. which is, I think, with the Sega throwback system that's going on right now and the Nintendo Classic that's going on right now, this is great. I like that we're getting a lot of updated versions of like vintage consoles and classic consoles so that new generations can play them. So I think this falls in well with that.
I agree, because I know a lot of people are, yelling laziness because they're like, just make new games and, don't worry about old games. Don't bring them. Nobody cares. But I disagree.
I think the Nintendo Classic selling out in a matter of hours proves that people care.
I was going to say, I like having the updated systems and games because it's expensive sometimes to try to acquire the old ones.
Yeah.
But this has also shown that trying to find a NES Mini is also very expensive. So hopefully they fix that and make more.
New things, we're getting Marvel vs. Capcom again.
Yeah, Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite, which is probably going to be insanely huge. That game is, it's got to be up there in the top 3 fighting games as far as fans go and tournaments. I know my brother played Marvel vs. Capcom 3 for, 1,000 years playtime, probably, cumulatively. Super good. People are super excited. I missed the gameplay that they showed. They showed a trailer, and they said they were going to show gameplay after the little tournament they were doing, which I didn't get around to seeing. But, yeah, some new characters. You got Captain Marvel. They brought Mega Man back. Was he in the second one?
I don't remember.
I think Zero was in the third one. Sorry. Don't know. Knack 2, which was kind of strange. I didn't expect to see that because Knack was a launch title for the PS4.
I have never heard of Knack.
Yeah. It was a launch title for the PS4, and it did okay. But everything I'd ever heard about it led me to believe that that was the last we'd hear about it. Apparently, it did well enough to warrant a sequel, so that's cool. Another co-op game.
Let It Die, which we downloaded,
yes,
is so cool.
It's really
so
cool.
Fun.
I don't know if
I like it.
Okay, so
watch the trailer.
It's probably one of the most bizarre games I've ever played. But it's coming from, was it Grasshopper?
It is.
Katakawa?
It is very reminiscent. If you guys played, I would say a mixture of Catherine. If you guys played Catherine, as far as that had some goofy elements about it, and Killer is Dead, which I loved.
Yes, I think it also has some elements of like a From Software game, like Dark Souls, mainly in the fact that when you die, you start over with a new character, in a sense. And your dead body becomes an enemy, which you can either kill or you can let roam around and try to kill other players online. So you may come across other people's dead bodies, and if you let your old dead body kill another player, you get rewarded for that. Very interesting system. Hopefully it
a lot of humor.
Well, oh yeah,
the soundtrack is great. A lot of 80s
very
throwback.
Retro.
It's I like it. The Uncle Death character is great.
Yep.
And I think they make great use of the PS4 controller.
Yeah. My only concern after I think we played it for like an hour or so is that company, and I want to say it's Grasshopper. I hope I'm right. It's either Grasshopper or Katakawa, but I'm pretty sure they're the people behind Killer is Dead. They did Lollipop Chainsaw. What's the one where the guy had the gun that would transform into like a giant dick?
Someone's gun transformed into a giant
dick? I think so.
Dick?
Yeah, or like
awesome.
He made dick jokes. I don't remember. But they always have these games where it has this pretty fun feel, great design, and you want it to feel so smooth. Like you want it to feel like a platinum game. Like Bayonetta or Metal Gear Rising. I think Beautiful Joe was platinum. Those games always have such a fluid and amazing combat system. And I think that's something that always holds these games back. Whereas they're super fun, but having a better combat system would put them on a whole nother level.
Let It Die.
Yeah.
They did Lollipop Chainsaw
Yes.
and Killer is Dead.
Yep.
Yep.
Okay.
And
I
they
thought
do
did another one.
they do a ton of like anime based video games.
Okay. No More Heroes.
Yeah.
Killer 7. Oh, I'm gonna have to find out who did that other one or what I'm thinking of.
I like it. It's fun. I
like
imagine
it
it's gonna get hard eventually, and I'm not gonna play it anymore.
Yeah.
But I will play it until it gets hard.
Even within the first hour, it was pretty difficult. Yeah. But they also released an updated demo for Resident Evil 7, which is I'm super excited for. I know a lot of people don't seem to be excited for it for one reason or another. One, I guess it doesn't really seem to have much to do with zombies.
Which is great because maybe
fine.
we have one less zombie game.
Yeah, in a world where everything is zombies, I'm happy to have something kind of take a different course. But that leads into the other thing people are kind of complaining about is it's extremely similar to some other games that have come out in the last few years that are first-person kind of horror games with camcorders or flashlights, such as Outlast.
But Outlast succeeded and blew people out of the water. I obviously did not play it because I'm a giant wussy baby.
You watched me
But I watched Ian play it and I was screaming. Yeah. Watching Ian play it, which I haven't done since Ian played Dead Space, also terrifying. I tried to play Dead Space. Too bad I don't have that video for you guys. It works.
Yeah.
And taking something that works and adding it to a franchise that already has a fan base, I think it's going to do good. Great. It's going to do well. I don't know.
Well, yeah, I
love that it's first person because I think that takes away the ability for you to kind of be like, oh, it's happening to this character. It's not happening to me, because when things are happening directly to you, I think it makes the situation more tense.
Yeah, I agree. I think third person games at this point aren't as immersive, and with a horror game being in first person, I think is the best way to go. I get very into it if I feel like I'm the one who's, experiencing this. But Resident Evil kind of took a strange turn around 4 and 5. Like 4 was still a great game, but it diverged from the previous entries. 5 and 6 kind of went off the rails. They were still fun, but they weren't traditional, Resident Evil. This one is also not traditional, but I don't have a problem with that. I'm fine with it not being zombies. It might be zombies. I don't think so. I haven't seen anything suggesting it's zombies, but more of like a killer inbred Texas Chainsaw. I will say
it seems like there's several games coming out next year with that particular theme. Outlast 2 also seems to be the backwoods, hillbilly family sort of thing. But I mean, I think
whatever. It's more to play. But
if they're still making enough money to make Resident Evil movies, I think that we can afford to take a chance on the new Resident Evil video game.
And I will say, graphically, it looks absolutely phenomenal. It looks so
does.
real.
I think it looks. Yeah, I agree.
So yeah, that was also released. Let It Die. Back to Let It Die is free if you have PlayStation, so you can just download the full game for free and play it. I don't know if that's limited, like a limited time thing, or if it's just permanently free. And going through the tutorial, there was a part that seemed like it did have kind of like a pay to win or pay to play option. So you can definitely like purchase stuff in the game. But for right now, the full game's free, so download it. Yeah. What else was there?
There's going to be a standalone Uncharted DLC.
Oh yeah, Uncharted. Kara said Tomb Raider's coming to PlayStation, the Tomb Raider Go.
And I think it's getting an update.
Yeah, they have an expansion.
So yes, you can play it on your PlayStation if you don't want to put it on your phone. That's really exciting.
Ni no Kuni 2.
It is indeed coming.
It is coming. Yeah. I think the first one, everyone was really excited because it had Miyazaki involved from oh my God, just blanked on the name, of Spirited Away fame.
Studio Ghibli.
Studio Ghibli, thank you. Just for completely blanked on that. So as you can see, the art style was very Miyazaki, just the storyline in general. Like you could tell it had heavy influence there. I never played it though. I really wanted to, but it's just one of those things I never got around to for lack of free time. But yeah, new one's coming out, and a lot of people are excited about that. It's got like a pretty cult following. And Horizon Zero Dawn got a new trailer.
I am very torn about this game. I really want to play, and I'll probably play, but I'm also, I don't know. It looks amazing. I love the concept. I love the mixture of, it being both futuristic and primitive at the same time. I don't know. The mechanics of the game look awesome. I'm just worried. I don't know. I'm worried for myself my personal
as a casual
gaming ability I play a lot of video games, but I don't play hard video games.
I'm sure it'll have a difficulty setting. Kara does not like to be frustrated.
I don't like to be frustrated. I like to just play my game and
la la la. My concern, I think it looks great. I think it's going to be a really good game. I mean, Guerrilla has a great track record. My concern is they're already chanting franchise. They're already talking about turning this into a franchise. My concern is that you're going to play through this great game and you're going to get to the ending and it's going to be sequel bait. And they're not even, it's one of the things that drives me crazy is when you play through a game, you get to the end and they're just like, join us next time in the sequel in 3 years.
Yeah.
Well, I feel like if you're good, you can create a full game with a great ending, a beginning, a middle, and end, start to finish, great game, and still plan sequels. Assassin's Creed is notorious for this shit. Every game. Oh, never mind.
Next time on Assassin's Creed, we'll address this in a different episode of this show that I would like to do.
Yeah.
But I think it looks awesome.
I do too. Yeah, my only concern is I just expect the ending to be sequel bait. But Destiny has an update coming in December. If you're still playing Destiny, it's like a winter update, a limited time event. They're bringing back Sparrow Racing, which a lot of people have been really wanting back since it's been like a year since it was here. They're bringing back Icebreaker, which is one of the most popular weapons from year one that they stole from us because they said it was broken. And I'm pretty sure they didn't fix anything. They're just like, all right, you can have Icebreaker back. Because it looks like it's the exact same gun. It functions the same way. And they're also giving us 2 weapons that we've known about since year one. They've just teased us with them for 3 years now.
Gjallarhorn 2 and the BFG2.
Nope.
No.
Gjallarhorn 2. I forget the names. Abaddon, I believe, is the solar one. And there's a void one. I forget the name. But pretty much, if you've been playing Destiny, you have Thunderlord, which is an arc heavy machine gun, which shoots electric bullets. So they're finally releasing the solar and the void version of that gun, respectively. So yeah, Sparrow Racing, all that. I feel like I'm forgetting something. Updated strikes. Yeah. I don't know.
Huh?
I'm still playing Destiny, so I think it'll be fun. It's kind of a small update, though. It's not that important. Unless you like Icebreaker. And I think that's a lot of the big announcements.
Yeah, there were some little things, but I don't care.
They did end on a really awesome note, though.
Yeah, they did.
So you've probably heard by now, but they're making a sequel to The Last of Us, which was kind of a small, not very well-known indie game from a couple years ago that kind of flew under the radar. That's not true at all. So The Last of Us probably won more Game of the Year awards than any other game in the last decade. And I'm pretty sure everyone expected a sequel, but they've been really, really quiet. The last I heard, they were like, we don't know what to do with the sequel. So when it happens, it happens. Well, it's happening. Yeah,
It's
so watch
happening.
watch the trailer. Ellie's back. She's older.
Yeah, people do that.
I guess so. I guess you're right. Unfortunately. And apparently she's on some sort of revenge mission. And that's all we know.
That's all we know.
But she's playing guitar surrounded by dead bodies.
I'm excited. I loved The Last of Us.
It was such a good game. It made me cry.
It's emotional.
Oh. Just thinking about it.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's all kind of the big news, announcements, winners, losers, Call of Duty of the last few days. Yeah. Last Guardian is coming out. Oh yeah, Final Fantasy 15 came out and Last Guardian's coming out. It
Comes
just
out on Tuesday.
feels so weird.
What world is this?
I don't know.
What year is it?
I never thought I'd see one of those games come out, let alone both of them within 2 weeks of each other.
Yeah.
Last Guardian, I feel like is going to be so good. They released a new trailer for that too, and
We don't need any more trailers.
just give me the game.
Let us just play the game. Yeah. It's a great time to be a gamer.
Especially if you like games.
If you're a gamer that doesn't like games, then
Something's
I don't
wrong with
know.
your brain.
yeah.
So
yeah.
anyway, that's been our quick ramblings of the last 2 days of gaming announcements. We're going to do some more gaming shows coming up on more specific subjects, which will probably be a little more coherent. But yeah, you'll have to wait for those.
You'll have
relax.
to wait.
Anyway, is that it?
That's all, folks.
All right. I've been Ian.
And I've been Kara.
And you've been filled with sweet, creamy game goodness.
Yeah.
Okay, bye.